Now, Rick, am I right in saying that Karl himself made the news this year? Because wasn't it right that a friend of your girlfriend's had read about him? Apparently, you were slagging off Cornwall somewhere.
Yeah, my girlfriend's sister live in Cornwall, and you were the front sort of story on something like the Western something or other edition, slagging off Cornwall.
What are you on about?
What have you been up to?
What have you said? What have you said about Cornwall?
I haven't said anything. I like Cornwall.
Yeah, but you must have said something, or they wouldn't have They mentioned Karl Pilkington.
You've been slagging off, apparently.
I love Cornwall. I love going there.
What have you ever said anything about it negatively?
What was that thing? Oh, didn't you slag someone off at Mevagissey? You went into a pub in Mevagissey.
Yeah, and he was airy. That's that one fella. There was a sort of. I went in there, and they're really friendly and everything in Cornwall.
Yeah.
If you're listening,
Don't creep.
No, but I like it. If I wanted to retire and that early, that's where I'd go and live.
I wouldn't now.
But I went there, right, in this little place called Mevagissey, and went into a pub, and the woman behind the bar was all friendly and going. It was around Christmas time, and she said, "Oh, what we normally do is like have a fancy dress and stuff." She said, "Yeah, I'll show you some pictures, right?" And she was going through, and there was a picture of someone there, and I said, "God, what's he come as? Look at him, he's well airy." And she said, "Oh, he just works behind the bar, he wasn't dressed as anything." And he came out round the corner, airy fella. but there's no way that made the paper.
Have you said anything else negative about it?
When was the last time you were in Cornwall?
It was... We took someone for a wedding present, we took someone on holiday there for a week. There was a fella on the beach who, he worked in one of them huts, you know how they sell deck chairs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a pretty nice job, especially in the summer, innit? The sun's out, you sat there, all you've got to do is talk to people, say, "What do you want? 2 deck chairs? There you go, no problem, see you later." But this fella, right, I went in there, got the chairs, took them back, he was being really moody. He said, "So you got a lot of sand on them?" I said, "Well, there's loads of it out there." It's not a surprise that he's stuck on, and he had a bit of a moan at me. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned that sort of.
Well, maybe
openly.
he recognised you.
But that isn't a diss. That's one person, isn't it?
If you're from Cornwall and you've got any reason to dislike Karl...
But there's not many people live in Cornwall. It's a very small community. I mean, no wonder they don't want to be part of us, with people like you slagging them off.
I love Cornwall. Got
So do I. I think Cornwall's beautiful. You're an idiot. Don't. Anyone in Cornwall, do not judge the rest of the nation by Karl Pilkington. It's not fair. I sometimes wonder imagine if he's the one that archaeologists dig up in a million years' time, and find some of his notes, and they measure the head and everything, and then some of the ramblings that he did. Do you know what I mean?
If an alien comes down, it would just be him that they'd bump into.
That would be just our luck, wouldn't it?
I tell you what, though, talking of like education and that, I know I'm sort of not the brightest bloke knocking about and that, right? But I treat myself the other day to a new mobile, right? And, going through it, getting used to it, getting used to how to send text and all that. And you know the predictive text?
Yeah.
So if you send a text, you type it in, and that sort of guesses what you're gonna write out, right? And it's new, so it doesn't really know me yet, right? And I was sending a text to someone to say something like, "I ain't got a clue," or something, right? Wrote ain't, right? A-I-N-T. Looked up at the screen to make sure that he'd written it right. That had written up biotechnology. What? That had predicted that I was going to use the word biotechnology. I am never going to use that word. Ever.
What? I ain't got a clue?
No, ain't. A-I-N-T.
Yeah.
I wrote that, just A-I-N-T on the phone. Looked up.
I love the fact that you've got a cleverer phone than you. Song for Lovers.
People have been wondering whether the show is live or if it's pre-recorded. Well, if it weren't live, then how could Grace email in telling us how much she hates the show?
Brilliant.
She says, "Dear Ricky, I think you are a prat."
She's got my attention already.
She opens with that, comes in straight away.
That's her opening gambit.
But she doesn't just leave it there, she qualifies it. She says, "All you do is slag people off on your show and think it's funny." I disagree. We've slagged off Karl.
Yeah.
But he's pretty much the only one.
But Karl, all I've said is you are stupid, and, I mean, by your own admission, you must know you're stupid, don't you?
We'll get by on that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fair comment, isn't it? And the other people we slagged off are people who like to see foxes ripped to pieces, so which I stand by.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
I'm sick of listening to you be rude about the world and certain people. Rude about the world? Are we being rude about the world? Well, anyway, I have to turn off the radio. I'm surprised anyone listens to you. Please try growing up.
Oh, she missed her dedication. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
What annoys me with Grace is that,
Nothing annoys me about Grace. Careful what you're doing.
All I say is I think she's... No, I'm saying she's...
And?
I'm saying, Rick, she should have criticised us for the obvious problems. We're incompetent.
We're not very good at all.
We're not entertaining. We drone on too much.
Yeah, but we don't slag off the world. We love the world. We love the world and Carl. In fact, the thing is about the world and Carl is that he's the same shape as the world, and that's why I like him, because that's all you need there, a little round...
I can't help but think the pot calling the kettle black there, Rick.
What? My body's round, my head is sort of fat and square. So how dare you?
Just quickly before we move on to the final bit of the sermon, we just thinking back to some of the other highlights of the year. One of mine, Rick, I'm sure one of yours, Live 8.
Live 8 was great fun.
Not only was it a great day, but obviously it raised it made its message very much clear and open to the world. Did you enjoy Live 8, Carl?
Yeah, it was alright. It's, quite a good thing. I mean, has it sorted the problems out, or...?
Well, it's more about raising awareness, isn't it, and bringing that to the world's attention.
I'm aware of it, so yeah, it's sort of done the job on that. But I read something about,
unbelievable.
Do you know, because Live 8 was all about money and stuff, wasn't it, giving money? And
no, it wasn't really.
Well...
It was about awareness, but it was about, the G8...
Dropping the debt.
Cancelling the debt to I think the 20th poorest nations or something, which I think...
Yeah. Well, then I was reading up on that, and there was something about, do you know Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Who did the computer stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's the
Microsoft.
wealthiest man in the world or something.
Absolutely, I think the first 100 billionaire.
Wow.
Was he?
That is a lot of money, because they worked out, they put to him that, with his labour, what his labour's worth, he would have to drop over $6,000 to be bothered to pick it up.
Wow.
And they asked him, and he said, well, of course I'd pick it up, because it doesn't work like that. But yes, he's that rich.
But he could just pay someone to do it as well, couldn't he?
Okay, get on with it, Carl. Again, you've missed the point. Again, you've missed the point.
But all I'm saying...
Sorry, Gracie, in wherever you are, Carl's an idiot, and I stand by it.
Bill Gates...
And don't rip foxes to pieces.
He's got that much money, right? He's saying that he could give everyone in the world, right, £6.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, right? And just what I was thinking and what I would to say to you, see what you think, right? Do you think it's fair that everybody gets £6?
Right, why? What's your point?
What do you mean? You mean the poor should get more?
Well, no, not really. What I mean is, say like if you live in Africa, right?
Yeah.
You can get a lot more for, say, £1 there than you can in London. So what I'm saying is, rather than £6 each,
yeah,
maybe give people in London a tenner each, in Africa or whatever, give them about £3, £3.50.
So you're saying, give the poorest people less, so they can get as much for their money in their Argos?
Yeah, basically.
You're saying, if you were to redistribute wealth, you'd give the poor people slightly less than the rich people because they've got a higher standard of living. Gracie, once again, can I come back to you on this? Do you know now why I call him a Oh, you know what I like about Gracie? She told the truth and she put her name. It's Grace, actually. She put her name down. Some people, just say you're a prat and they believe
they just shout at you across the street. Hey, fat man, you're not funny.
Yeah, but I rest my case. Carl, you're an idiot.
Alright.
Robert Post and a song called Got None, one of my favourites of the year. It's almost the end of this. Radio 2, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
It's been a pleasure doing these two specials. If we're invited again, keep your emails coming. Not Grace. Keep your emails to yourself. Yeah. No, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Please send them in, and we learnt something, haven't we, Carl? No, he hasn't.
Well,
okay, good. It was a long shot.
Yeah.
It was, you know what I mean?
Chances were slim.
Yeah, I know. But we've been doing a sermon because, we've got a lot of vicars listening for some reason. And think of that. We're hardly their pin-up, are we? You know what I mean? The vicar's going, I must listen to that show. It's so cool. And there was a thing in the, I think the Mirror this week about, vicars are now, podcasting. They're, doing their sermon, as a podcast and download it for busy people who can't get to church all the time. And they had the chart of the what's the #1 podcast in the world?
Well, I think it's, Ricky Gervais podcast.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. #1 in the world. Yes, it is. So that's why we're doing this. In fact, you should do a full version of this and put it on. Yeah, let's do it. For people who can't, because this is valuable, time, and Grace doesn't want to hear it, so just do the final, I suppose, what would you call this? Summing up with the Bible, then we do a longer one.
Well, no, it's not sort of summed up. Because, to be honest, after the Noah bit and stuff, I was a bit like, oh, this is
Oh, just do it. Just do it. Okay, this is the final. This is the final episode of the Bible. Well, the greatest story ever told.
No, no, but it's not the final chapter. This is just another bit in it that I thought I can relate to.
Get to the end.
You couldn't even read a children's Bible. They had to go to Waterstones and ask 2 people for, and they put it in a brown paper bag.
It was 200 and odd pages and that.
Oh.
So the one that I picked up on, right, that I could relate to.
Okay.
Do you know Samson and Delilah?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what happened in that?
Yes.
Right, well, just in case you haven't heard the story of Samson and Delilah, what it is, I think God had a word with, some bloke, I can't remember his name, I think it's Manoah or something his name was.
Right.
He said, listen, I'm still having problems, Adam and Eve let me down.
He didn't say that, by the way. Anyone listening, at no point has God ever said, Adam and Eve let me down.
No,
anyway.
and then he had a word with Noah, he did the boat thing, so he said, I can't ask for 2 favours, right?
Sure.
So he asked this other bloke, Manoah.
He was happy with Noah, though, was he?
Yeah, he let him go on, though. It's like jury service, once you've done it, you're left alone for a bit, aren't you? So anyway,
He didn't bother getting the fish on the boat, did he?
I don't know.
They were happy, weren't they? Surely.
But anyway,
although was it salt water everywhere? Why didn't the freshwater fish die out?
Rick, I'm just going to stop you there because we've still got to get Monkey News in before 1 o'clock.
So he had a word with this fella, and he said, look, what I'm going to do, you're going to have a kid soon. It's going to be a little boy, right? And when he grows up, he's going to sort out my problems. So it was like a long-term plan that he had sorted, right? So anyway, they have the kid, right? They're happy. They've got a little baby boy. They go, right, what we'll do to show our respect to God, we'll never cut his hair, right? Because he'll like that, right?
We're still in the Old Testament, aren't we?
I don't think Jesus is going to make an appearance.
So they called him Samson, right? And he grew up, right? Never cut his hair. His hair made him strong, right? He was going about, he was helping people out, he was stopping wars and that because he was so strong. His hair made him strong and that, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, nobody knew that. Nobody knew it was his hair that did the job. So, this is right so far, isn't it?
I don't know the ins and outs.
So anyway, what happened is, women are loving him all of a sudden. He's got nice long hair and that, he looks the part, he's stopping problems. Women are going, he's a good fella, isn't he, this Samson bloke?
Like Stringfellow.
Anyway.
That's the power of pulling, is in Stringfellow's hair.
Yeah.
That's why he never cuts it.
Exactly.
Whatever the decade, Peter Stringfellow never cuts his hair, because that's where the power lies.
Anyway, he didn't realise he had this power until one day, he got up, right, did his hair and that, went out, a lion jumped out.
Oh.
He killed it with his hands, with his bare hands.
Why?
Right? So again, Noah was a bit annoyed, because that's one of the ones that he saved. But anyway, right, so he goes, I can't believe this power I've got, right? I'm gonna, like, sort out the world's
Didn't
problems.
the lion have long hair, though, as well? Well, no, we'll just what?
No, but you're always picking on the to be honest though, that's as far as I got anyway. So
That's it. So if you were interested by those, you can buy the Bible in all good bookshops and read the rest. Is that what you're saying?
Or any religious book.
Yes. We don't remember the Torah, the Quran.
Somewhere Only We Know by Keane on BBC Radio 2. Right, it's that time again. It's what the nation's been waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh, chimpanzee that! Monkey news!
Right, this is something that I do know about, alright? If monkeys have been up to anything in the world, this is what I'm on. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm on top of this. This one, it's pretty recent. Monkey was knocking about New York.
Oh, yeah.
He got locked up for, like, nicking stuff and all the rest of it, right? Anyway, that's the past.
I don't know where I'd point this.
Well, hang on,
Steve, does that
but you know what I mean, if that's the opening gambit, if I don't come in there, when do I come in?
Right,
do you know what I mean? If I don't pick him up on that, when do I come in?
Steve, I can show you the original.
Nicking stuff.
Anyway, so he worked on a plan to escape.
Oh, shut up!
Right, and he'd worked it all out. He saw the bloke with the keys and that.
How do we know this? How do we know this?
This isn't even the main bit of the story. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Because
Rick, please.
No, because he's embellished and it's.
So anyway,
I've said this before. I'm going to say it now. You do not interrupt the news. It's the news.
So anyway, right. So the monkey gets out. He's roaming about free. Word gets out that he's escaped and that, right? The copper, I think his name's PC Wilcox of NYPD, right?
Police Constable Wilcox of the New York Police Constable Wilcox.
Leave it.
Yeah.
We've only got a few minutes left, please.
Dixon of Queens.
So he got a call to sort of assist, you know, this monkey roaming about.
PC Wilcox of the New York PD.
Ricky!
Because they were having problems catching it, Right?
So he was called in?
So he was out on his motorbike looking what's going on. Anyway, cut a long story short, he manages to catch up with the monkey. Right.
Why, did the monkey have a car?
He got it in like a little
Why
alleyway.
did the monkey steal a car, Carl?
Anyway, so he had him, he gave him the rights and everything, you know, everything he used to say and all that business. He said,
Whoa,
Steve.
Monkeys don't talk.
So
Carl,
Steve.
Carl, monkey, he didn't need to say anything you say, maybe take it down.
So anyway,
Carl, look
Steve,
at me
right?
as well.
No,
Carl,
I'm just telling Steve because he's listening.
But Carl, think
It's
what you're
easy to
saying.
put stuff down. So anyway, the cop, you know, the monkey's like fair cop, right? He's on the back of the motorbike being taken back to the station.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Anyway, Wilcox gets a call on
PC Wilcox,
on the radio,
Sure.
saying, you know, listen, there's been another problem,
Oh no.
right? Will you?
There was a diversion, there was a gang.
There was a gang. Right?
Oh.
So he said, can you go and sort it out? And he's like, well, I've got a monkey on my back. He said, well, take it with you.
Was he on
right?
drugs?
So anyway,
Isn't that what junkies say?
so he goes down to the scene where it's all kicking off. Monkey's just sat on the motorbike thinking, I'm not going to try and get away, it'll just make the matter worse, right? He's sat there. The gang,
Hold on, was he wearing a crash helmet?
the gang, sort of, you know, he saw all that going off. Copper goes up.
Sorry, was this a gang of humans?
So anyway, it's kicking off, right? There's a gang, and they're all having a fight and what have you. Anyway, it gets out of hand because Wilcox, even though he sort of helps out the person who was being beaten up, he walks off, the gang starts picking on the copper.
Oh no.
So, the monkey thinks, best help out here.
Oh!
He goes up,
Oh,
right?
no.
Anyway, cut a long story short,
Yeah!
they let the monkey off, he got keys to the city. Steve,
How did he help out the policeman?
have a look at that. Have a look, there's the facts.
It's not facts. It never happened.
That's the facts.
I mean, everything about it's wrong. Everything about it is nonsense.
Steve?
Well, all I say is there's a picture here of a monkey brandishing a gun. If that's not truth, if that's not fact,
Have a look.
then there it is right there.
What is it? Should we have some real news?
Well, what is that?
I'm dumbfounded by that monkey news.
But it's all there, Steve.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give it a full assessment.
Let's see if there's the news coming up. See if there's any stories like that in this. Right, on 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 from the BBC.
Thanks for listening.